So today we're going to delve into how I got to this point and why the trail trip is so important to me. Roughly around 1997, I decided I was going to go in the Marine Corps. Not knowing I had diabetes, the Marine Corps was very nice and running me through a bunch of tests and telling me that there might be a problem. And, hey, go to an outside specialist, come back. If it's okay, we'll take you. Well, I went to the outside specialist. It wasn't okay. Found out I had diabetes. In that time, I was working as a stagehand. I'd been working on a cops type TV show. Didn't really take the diabetes thing serious. About a year and a half later, I stubbed my toe at a gig. It got infected, got into the bone. Still didn't take it seriously. Went to the doctor and ended up with my very first amputation of the great toe on my right foot. Being the hard-headed 20-something that I was, even though it was later 20s, I continued working and got a job with animal care and regulation and proceeded to have more amputations. I lost another toe on the left foot, and it just kept going back and forth. Losing toes eventually to the point of a transmet. And for those of you not familiar with a transmet, it is where they take basically the front half of the foot off. So I eventually ended up with a dual transmet, and I continued working with the diabetes, not controlling it, not doing what I was supposed to. And this is kind of let you know that don't be stupid. Take care of this. It's serious. I worked for 3.5 years at Animal Control. Finally got to the point where I couldn't work anymore. So I started the process of getting disability. Well, that took another 3 years. During those 3 years, I could not work because you're not allowed to work while you're waiting to get your disability. I had a few more problems because I continued walking, even though I wasn't supposed to. I wasn't working, but I would actually walk coin-sized dollar holes in the bottom of my foot. Get an infection, it would get in the bone. I'd have to do IV antibiotics, oral antibiotics, and I still wasn't taking care of things. It just continued like that for several years. Finally got my disability. I was still living in Miami at the time. I really hated being on disability because, well, I couldn't work. That was my main thing, is I wanted to go back to work, and everybody's like, no, stay on disability. So I did that for about 3-4 more years till my father passed away. We made the decision to leave Miami and move to Atlanta, Georgia, where I presently reside. I spent a couple years not doing anything, and then finally went and got my certification as a heavy equipment operator. Figured, nice sit-down job, not a lot of walking, shouldn't be a problem. Well, within 6 months of getting my certification, guess what? I had another infection going. Except this time it was a very, very big change in my life. I was not expecting to be a double below the knee amputee when we started this whole process. And they told me there was one of two things they could do. They could cut one of my legs at the ankle, cut the other one at the ankle. There was enough left to work with. They could turn it around and do what's called a CIMS, where they put the ankle on, basically turn the leg around, reattach it at the ankle, and fuse the bone. Or we had another option. I said, well, what's the first option? What kind of quality of life am I going to get out of the first option? The doctor said, well, you can stand to pee. I was like, well, that's not good enough. So what's the second option? He says, well, we cut them both off below the knee and we give you new legs. Well, it didn't take me but a few minutes to decide, wow, new legs, great, let's do it. So 2 weeks later, in 2008, September, I had a double below the knee amputation. By Thanksgiving, I was back up walking on the first set of legs. By the first week of December, my birthday, I decided I was going to go out and go Christmas shopping. So yeah, within a less than a 3-month span, I was back up actually running around doing my pseudo-normal life on these new legs. And my biggest thing was, when can I go back to work? And their answer is, why do you want to go back to work? You've got disability. Like, I don't want disability. I want to go back to work. So I spent a year not working, working towards getting back to at least part-time, so at least I keep my disability and work and feel like a contributing member of society. And I started working as a janitor part-time, and I did that for 5 long years. And nothing against janitorial work, it's a necessary thing, but it's not me. I wanted to go back to being what I was, which was a stagehand. So when that job separated, first thing I did, I went and called and started back working as stagehand. And I got this opportunity in that period to go to a camp for people with disabilities. And the idea of the camp is to get you to get up and get moving. And the end all be all is to get you to do a triathlon. And I'm like, I don't run. I haven't biked in years. I haven't been in a swimming pool in 15 years. Well, I didn't run so good, but I did do the other two. I got in a swimming pool, and I got on a bike, and I think I rode probably like 4 miles on the bike, and I hadn't ridden on a bike, and I was early 20s. Now I'm in my late 30s, and I'm a double amputee. There's a few special problems involved there, but I was able to do it. And at the end of the camp, they asked, what is the one thing you'd like to do? And I thought, what's the craziest goddamn thing? I've never, ever been camping really, out in the woods. I mean, Cub Scouts, that kind of stuff, but that's not really it. I said, I'd like to hike the Appalachian Trail, thinking that, it never, may get to it one day, but it's never, not really, it's so outlandish. Nobody's going to believe that I'm going to do this. And the problem is they believe me. That was 12 years ago. And it's taken 12 years of sitting on my butt, talking about, telling everybody I'm going to do this we're within less than a year of this actually coming to fruition and happening. And with the help of my great team, and I shouldn't say team, I should say more like family, because that's what they are to me. Next year, we're going to go out and through hike the Appalachian Trail. I will be the first double amputee to complete this in one season. And that's what Project Trail Legs is all about. It's about showing people that just because you're disabled, yeah, you may not be able to go out and hike the Appalachian Trail, but you can come to a local park like this. You can go to the zoo. There's a lot left to life. It's not over just because you're disabled or handicapped or whatever label you want to put on it. It doesn't mean the end of life. It's just a new beginning. Just take this as a speed bump. I hit the speed bump at about 60 miles an hour, and I went flying into the air, and I came back down the other side, and I'm going, holy crap, next year I'm hiking the Appalachian Trail. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Have a good day.
Okay.